Yeah, so we have room in our schedule for an hour of music right now. I actually have a band that we were going to try to live stream right now, but we weren't able to get that together with our schedules. And I had some little pre-recorded clips that I'm not able to screen share right now. I tried putting them in the Dropbox if you want to share those. But we don't need to do that, and we can just share as long as we want to, and then everybody can go to bed. So we have another early morning too. Is there anybody with us that has any words or poems or songs or things they would like to share right now? I do have a ukulele and might be convinced to share a song if we want that. But I'd love to hear what comes from all of you here. I know those of us who kind of set this up get the spotlight a lot, and we don't need it that much because here we are all weekend long, and a lot of you are in and out, and it would be great to hear from you if you have anything you'd like to read or sing or play.
I really appreciated that you showed this film. It was really good to watch, and well done too. And I am signing out to go to bed. Good night. Okay. And thanks, Julie, for picking up a lost attendee.
Good night, Kristen.
Thank you all for this. Night, night.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to see you, Kirsten. And I put in a request to you, David. I put it in the chat, but I'm just going to ask you if you could find The Church of Fermentation by Samara Jade. She is an amazing musician that was in the Eastern world, and then she lived out here in the Olympic Peninsula for a while. But during some of our conversations about just the kind of how permaculture is a place for ethics and values that is so inclusive, we kind of can not have to deal with a lot of we can deal with religion, but we don't have to. We can have a lot of spiritualities open and accepted in the permaculture sphere. And it's nice how there's a morality and ethics and values that are emphasized without putting a lot of construct on it. And it reminded me of this song called Church of Fermentation by Samara Jade. And if it's something that is, I know it's on Spotify. I don't know if she has it on YouTube, but it's a really wonderful song, and I would love to share it with everybody.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it and get that queued up. And I guess you guys could talk about something else while I look for that. Just search for Church of Fermentation.
Yes, Samara, S-M-A-R-A, Jade, Church of Fermentation. It's a really great song.
Ukulele, please, says Sean.
Okay. All right. All right, so to warm up for that, I love music and I like having words that help reinforce the reality I want to live in. There's this awesome folk song called You Are My Sunshine that I'm sure all of you know. But if you listen to the words, they're not very sustainable. They're rather depressing, kind of codependent, and just not very healthy. So I retooled the words so they are more reinforcing the life I want to live in, and I can play that for you. Yes, Basil? Sure. No, it's there for a little bit. It's you are my sunshine, my warm, bright sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Now that I've felt your warm beam of sunlight, I'll carry it with me all of my days. The other night, dear, when I was sleeping, I dreamt you held me in your arms. When I woke, I had to smile. Your love reached me from afar. And the last one is, I will love you and hold you dearly and trust that you will do the same. And if we have to part from each other, in kindness, we'll go our own ways. So that's my happy relationship rather than a codependent mess version of You Are My Sunshine. And I'll play it for you now. Were you able to find that, David?
Totally.
Whoa,
Echo. I got rid of my echo. Yes, I found it. And she's actually a friend of mine. I met her at some gathering that I was teaching at. And she's an amazing woman and an amazing artist. Oh, I think she might have come to Florida once. Now that I think about it, I've run into her multiple places around the nation, and she's a really neat soul.
Why don't you play that first while I remember how to play this, because I haven't played it in a
Awesome.
while.
And I had to say, Shaylee, remaking songs and poems that were, in my opinion, degenerative by their vocabulary, very possessive or controlling, is dear to my heart. So I can't wait to hear that.
Cool. Well, I'll mute myself and let's listen to Samara. She's so awesome. I met her dancing.
Yeah, she's a hoot.
There's a nook in my apartment where I keep a holy shrine with crystal shells and Buddhas and things that remind my heart to shine. And the space around stays empty because there's sacredness in space. To meditate on emptiness is to be arm in arm with grace. But meanwhile in my kitchen, many foods ferment. It's starting to get cluttered and look like a science experiment. But the space around my shrine is just reserved for all things holy, till the moment that I realize fermentation could be part of my spirituality. From the fungi to the yeast, to the bacteria so divine, after all of our this holy ones turn water into wine, we must honor those life processes that lead to transformation and bow down in the church of fermentation. That's right. Oh, in all the ancient cultures, fermentation was the key. Preservation with no refrigeration. Of course it had to come to be. Perhaps it started as an accident, a food project gone wrong. But what a joy must have had the fellow who let his grape juice sit too long. From the fungi to the yeast, to the bacteria so divine, after all you are those holy ones turn water into wine. We must honor those life processes that lead to transformation and bow down in the church of fermentation. There are so many ferments, don't you know there's kombucha, yogurt, and sourdough, and I can never do without kimchi and sauerkraut. With no cheese or sour cream, we can never please our taco dream. Tofu, miso, and tamari, Japanese food would be so sorry. So many of these we totally need, like wine and beer and cider and mead. Oh, how bleak this life would be without chocolate, tea, and coffee. Take it away, Daisy. That's Daisy Castro, everybody. So there are things that no longer serve you well. You can let them decompose, or you can put them in a bottle and watch as it turns around and grows into something far superior and digestible in the end. Let's give thanks to the microorganisms for making their brilliant amends. From the fungi to the yeast, to the bacteria so divine. After all, we are those holy ones, turn water into wine. We must honor those life processes that lead to transformation and bow down in the church of fermentation. And bow down in the church of fermentation. And bow down in the church of fermentation.
I sent you one, David. I don't know if you saw it on Slack. You're muted. Anyways, I sent you a link to a song by my friend Jessa Campbell and the Saplings, and she's someone who used to live here at Camp Singing Wind, and she sings this song about the life of the salmon. And it's for kids, but it's really amusing as an adult to watch it. And she's in the Pacific Northwest. She lives in Portland, and she's just kind of like fun. Might be
Awesome.
after watching our salmon video, might be a fun way to celebrate salmon.
That's awesome. A few seconds here. Before I share it, I'm gonna fast forward this advertisement, I think. No, maybe it's not. It's actually her.
Yeah, she's kind of colorful. She wears a costume whenever she dresses up as a fairy when she does any of her like things, because she does it for children, but it's really just kind of cute and bouncy and fun.
On that last artist, Samantha Jade, I just remembered I was actually at the Earth Skills Gathering in Northern Florida, and she walked up to me and we just started chatting. Before we knew it, we'd actually been at some same gatherings in Washington the year prior, and we had met before, and we just re-met each other, and it was actually really humorous, and it's kind of fun when you do that. But here she,
I love that.
yeah, and just a really humble, really awesome artist. And a lot of good camaraderie, a lot of good purpose. It's kind of fun in permaculture. We're not just all people who plant trees. Some people have passions of other very important elements in life, and it's really cool to see people apply that in other areas. And I'm super thankful for that. Hold on a few more seconds. I'm gonna get us zoomed in here.
And then I remembered how to play it, so I can go after this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go, and share.
Can you feel it? Oh, 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 oh. Coming at you, can you feel it? Oh, 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 oh. Coming at you, can you feel it? Oh, 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 oh. Coming at you, can you feel it? Oh, 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 oh. Coming at you. We're in the red. Mom used her tail to build a nest, and now we rest until we hatch alevins, and we eat our yolk sack. Oh, and we try, oh, we try, oh, we try to emerge from the gravel as small fry. So can you feel it? Oh, 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 oh. Coming at you, can you feel it? Oh, 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 oh. Coming at you, can you feel it? Oh, 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 oh. Coming at you, can you feel it? Oh, 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 oh. Coming at you. can you feel it? Oh, can you feel it? Oh, can you feel it? Oh, can you feel it? We spend the year swimming in the ocean. We'll stay for 2 or maybe 5. And then one day we'll get that feeling to go back home and start new life. Oh, and we try, oh, we try, oh, we try to swim upstream because our home is on our hearts and minds. Oh, can you feel it? Oh, can you feel it? Oh, can you feel it? Oh, can you feel it?
That was awesome. Shaylee, all the way from Swim. Take it away. I think you're muted. You're still muted, Shaylee.
I
Someone
said we're in
asked.
Salmon Land here too, right next to the Dungeness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I love the river right beside your place. Shaylee lives in a really beautiful spot. She has this irrigation ditch that comes right through her land, but it just feeds right off of the river in a natural way, and it's really beautiful to go down there and swim. Swim and swim.
Yep. Thanks for swimming. you.
Thank you. That's awesome. And it looks like Blair, it looks like you got your guitar out. You gonna play something? And I want to tell everyone good night. I'm probably just gonna skedaddle out because I gotta wake up 7 o'clock your time, and I also have to get my kids somewhere in the morning before 7 o'clock. So your time. So
Yeah, I'll play a
there we
song.
go. And I'm gonna pass the baton on to Shaylee and say I've had a great day with you guys. I might listen to.
Awesome, David. Good
Love you
job.
too. Yeah, it was really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Shaylee, if there's any feedback or anything about in the morning or anything we need to do, you can just go ahead and throw it into Slack. And if it's something urgent, you can call me. You're awesome, Shaylee. It's been fun playing. I wish we were in person, but this is a good backup plan.
Good
And
night,
you're-
David.
Good night, David. I think we're good, and we'll just see you in the morning for tea time and all that.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Could I ask if it starts at 7 in the morning, Florida time, or Oregon West Coast time?
That's West Coast time. We just kind of have an hour of like breakfast where we can hang out and talk that David and I like to be present for.
Actually,
think
no, that's
there
not what's
might be-
happening at 7 a.m.
Oh no, there's a person presenting at 7.
Presenting. We have, that doesn't make,
It was a person from India that David Stein asked if they could do
Yeah.
in the morning because it was the only time they had available.
it's from 7 to 7:30, and then 7:30 to 8 is when morning circle.
Okay.
Okay,
And,
but that's West Coast time, 7
That's-
a.m.
yeah.
right?
Yep. Mhm.
Pacific Standard
Oh,
Time.
you got to get up early. Okay, thanks.
I know. Okay, but I'll see you in the morning, David, and we can wrap up. I can't stay too late tonight either. And go for it, Blair. Thank you.
I was gonna play a song I learned at a convergence probably 7-8 years ago. I think the original author is Gillian Welsh. All the girls all dance with the boys from the city, but they don't get to dance with me. But it ain't my fault that the fields are muddy, and the red dirt that stains my feet. Well, it's under my nails and it's under my collar, and stars on my Sunday clothes. We'll try to wash it off with the soap and the water, but the damn dirt, it just won't go. Oh, when I pass through the pearly gates, my gown be gold instead. But just a red clay robe with the red clay wings and a red clay halo on my head. Was mud in the spring and it's dust in the summer, and it rolls on a crimson tide. To the trees and leaves and the clouds are the color of the dirt on the mountainside. Oh, when I pass through the pearly gates, my gown be gold instead. Oh, just a red clay robe with the red clay wings and a red clay halo on my head. Well, the Jordan's banks, they're good and muddy, and the rolling river is wide. But I got no boat, so I'll be good and muddy when I get to the other side. Oh, when I pass through the pearly gates, my gown be gold instead. Just a red clay robe with the red clay wings and a red clay halo on my head. I'll take that red clay robe with the red clay wings and a red clay halo on my head. Song about dirt.
That was great.
Yeah. Where did that song came from? You learned that whole thing at a convergence? There are so many words.
Well, you know, it's a Gillian Welsh song, so I heard it
Oh,
there,
okay.
and it was like, boom, that song. I gotta learn that song, and then learned it the next few months or whatever.
Yeah, I think you made everybody dance. I was too. I was like, oh, I gotta do the two-step.
But then
Is there Yeah, is
Fort
there
Townsend.
anybody? What did you say?
It was at the Fort Flagler, the convergence of Fort Flagler, which are really nice spots to have it.
Oh yeah, that's when I got. That's when I joined the board. That one. Is there any other people who would like to share anything? I think our official bell gongs at 10, and I know I, for one, don't have the stamina to stay awake much later than that. So we have 15 minutes of opportunity to share more songs. And Blair, if you want to share from your arsenal, that's okay. If anybody else wants to, I have a couple other songs I could share if I think about it for a minute. But is there anyone here who has a poem or song or anything like that they'd like to put out there?
I want to see Shauna. Shauna, are you my friend Shauna?
No response, Julie. So I don't know if that's your Shauna. Oh, and if anybody wants the words to the Sunshine Song, I'm happy to share them with you. And I could put them in the protocol document or in one of the Slack channels. Just let me know what would be the best avenue for that. Can you just wait for a second? Sorry, my son's talking to me. I have my whole family's down here with me. You might be able to get your warm spot back. Yeah, would you like to share another song, Blair? Would you guys like me to share another song? It'll take me a minute to think of one. I retooled the words to Poor Wayfaring Stranger too, but I'll have to remember what they are. That's another nice folk tune that has a beautiful harmony. I need to mute for a second so I can talk to my son. He keeps on talking in my ear. So sorry, you guys can say what you.
Anyone want to share? I can continue Shaylee's, talking to you guys.
Where's that come from, Cassie?
Yeah, it's from Cassie.
Ah, there you are.
Yep. What about you, Blair? Do you know of other songs or?
I'm just trying to think of something that would sort of fit the theme.
It could be outside the theme.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be on theme.
I have a couple of verses of a song that I've sang before at the Convergence. Let's see if I can get through it here. We are part of something special. We are part of something special. We are part of something special. It's a crack in time, a wrinkle falling from our nest, young eagle. I will pull my feathers out, stay humble, stay humble, stay humble. Oh, come on, a taught us like an elder, took us under older brother. He said, this is powerful country, this is powerful country. Well, I felt that we were returning to the land rebels, the shepherds of the sea. Well, takers are taking what the leavers would leave. So grieve me a black Prince Cicada, such a loud voice for a tiny creature. Well, help me to relive all of my pain. I will forgive, I won't forget these things. I won't forgive, I won't forget these things. Now, burn me a blue gum for a safe passageway. Smoke of the dirt, drink from the earth. My war paint was red, ochre clay, hoka hey. My war paint was red, hoka clay, hoka hey. My war paint was red. Our dreams united, cast into the shine, and the songs of our struggle came straight from the fire. They said, holy, holy grandmother, we sing, wash us clean of our pain, suffering, give us strength for a new beginning. And with my deepest grace I sing, it'll wash away, it will wash away, lift them up. It'll wash away, it will wash away, lift them up. It'll wash away, it will wash away, lift them up. It'll wash away, it will wash away, lift them up. Lift them up. Lift them up. Lift them up. In my dreams you were an aboriginal man. Gave me your heart and your hat in one hand. You said, you've come to be with the rainbow serpent. One hand's red land, red worship. Red hands, red land, red worship. Just as bush mama was crying in the chasm for the stolen generation and the children who haven't come home, stay home. Come home, stay home. My bullets are my words are my weapons. So strap me to the pipeline for our rivers and mountains. He said, today's a good day for my ego to die. Today's a good day for my ego to die. Spirit live on in my heart, in my body, my mind. In my body, my mind. Then Sister Crow came with the matter that day, and they tattooed Bird Nation onto our faces. And said, we sing to let go of all of our pain, and we dance to the story to remember when things changed. Remember when things changed. Remember when things changed. And say, holy, holy grandmother, we sing, wash us clean of our pain and my suffering, give us strength for a new beginning. And with our deepest grace I say, is wash away, it will wash away, lift them up. It'll wash away, it will wash away, lift them up. It'll wash away, it will wash away, lift them up. It'll wash away, it will wash away, lift them up. Lift them up. Lift them up. That song was written by Nako Bear, The Medicine for the People.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a beautiful song. I think I had heard it. Do we have a deer or bird or related songs? I do have a water related song, kind of. So, yeah, and thank you for sharing that, Blair. I appreciate your voice, and you're really good at the guitar. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So what I thought I could play that I remembered is another song I changed the words to. It's kind of got a sad tune, but it's Poor Wayfaring Stranger. And because of me changing the words, it relates to water. And the main words is, I'm a poor wayfaring stranger traveling through this world of woe. I've known such sickness, toil, and danger in this bright world through which I go. Here's where I've changed it. Instead of going over Jordan and going to, I don't remember all the original words, I go to the mountains and I try to seek the wisdom from out there, and I just like go to the mountains, and then I cross the river too. And so I'll try it with that bit. And good night, Fortune 3. La dum dum dum. La da da la da. La da 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 da. La da do da da da. Da 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 da. No. I'm just a boy, wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woe. I've known such sickness, toil, and danger in this bright world through which we go. And so I'm going to the mountain. I'm going there to find some hope. There it is. I'm just a going through those mountains. I'm just a going home. I'm going where? No, I know dark cloud will travel around.
Thank you,
share
Shaylee.
those words too at some point if anybody liked them. A few have been modified so it's not so it relates to a more ambiguous wilderness homeland and replaces some, I don't know, more ambiguous spiritual references so it can resonate with everybody. I'll mute myself.
Anyone else have a thing to share? Anyone inspired by Shaylee's song or Blair's?
Been doing a little instrumental that I wrote.
Okay.
I wrote this on sitting on the beach about 10 years ago. Just a little simple one, but kind of hung on to it.
Yeah, I can see why you might have come up with that at the beach. It's a very like beachy, chilled vibe.
Yeah.
I like it.
I have children, so I'm leaving myself mute.
You're fine, Shaylee. I personally don't do a lot of like playing of music or things like that or poems. So I enjoy people who do though. Anyone else who's still here? A lot of like muted people. Julie, you being quiet.
I'm trying to post in the Zoom in the chat just the Sahale part and the dinner part and concentration. I love
I
your
see.
gentle voice, Cassie. It's so encouraging. Anybody has the energy and inspiration for poems, it would make Cassie or songs, it would make Cassie so happy.
I see Carmen is still here. Hi, Carmen. I don't have my camera on. I'm sorry. I just am like in a weird mood for camera, but I enjoy seeing you guys. So thank you for cameraing. And Marcy's still here. Mike is still here. Unless you guys are sleeping.
Mike, are you still here?
Norm. Shauna. Kathy Ging, aren't you in bed? Didn't you tell us that you need to go to sleep? I'm ready to go to sleep. I stayed up too late last night. I stayed up till about, I don't know, some stupid time, like 2 a.m. or something.
Well, here on the West Coast, it's 2 minutes to 10. If you can get to bed by then, you'll actually sleep.
Maybe if I can get to sleep. I had like 3 cups of coffee today to stay awake. So we'll see how today goes, or tonight when I lay down. I don't know. It's been a good day though. I've enjoyed all the presentations and definitely have a lot to think about.
Do you know what the one from India is going to be about tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock?
The one tomorrow morning at 7 is about a it's I'm going to pronounce this really weird. Arrotantial farming. It's a concept of it's a farming system in India. So that's the reason it's at 7 o'clock. It's because the guy's in India who's going to be speaking about it.
We don't know much about the kind of farming system. Is it relevant to Oregon?
I you know, I don't know. I feel like there's something relevant about most farming systems that we can learn about. Like even today, hearing Laura was there. Yeah, Laura talking, and she's in India. You know, doing self-care and home care, and you know, things that she was saying. Like I was feeling was relevant for us, even though it's like the other side of the world.
Yeah, that's different from farming though. But I'm just wondering whether I can get out of bed at 7 o'clock. But
Well,
thanks for the tip.
it's an alternative way of farming. So yeah, I don't know. Depends. You could watch it on video.
Is that the farm that did the cow urine, like pesticide thing?
This is not the same farmer who did that. That one is Prim, and he will be speaking at 7 p.m. on Sunday. He's our keynote speaker on Sunday. So, but this is someone who David Stein did farming with. He went to the farm and did all kinds, like, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. It's funny being friends with David Stein on Facebook and stuff, because I would see pictures of him in India with just a bunch of random people, and he just looked like he was having so much fun. And I kind of was jealous, even though I've never in my life I've wanted to go to India, because I just don't want to like go that far away from home. But like now I do. Now I'm like, oh, it could be fun, except for monsoons. And I don't know, it gets really hot there, doesn't it? I don't know.
Hey, Blair, are you on Facebook? I can't find you on Facebook.
I don't do much Facebook.
Oh, okay, no problem. You're smart. You're older, that's all you do.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting out of Facebook these days. It's just too much craziness.
Oh, you can't run a life
Sure,
and do
yeah.
Facebook. Exactly, yeah.
Really?
But see, I have this plan for the Paisley Octopus takeover, the Paisley Octopus 2020 stretchathon, to stretch hearts, minds, imaginations, and hands in places never explored before. And this would be a series of ongoing phone calls with people with simpatico topics that would last the rest of their lives. So I'm sort of connecting up with people through Facebook for to revive the art of conversation. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely like there are benefits to Facebook in that manner, right? You get to meet people and keep in contact with them, but then there's like all these other sides of it. There's a documentary, I think, on Netflix maybe, called The Social Dilemma, that I think a friend of mine just watched it, and it like changed her whole view on social media. And she's like, I'm getting off of Facebook. Not like completely, but she like spent 2 hours on Facebook this week versus like before it was like 10 hours.
Social Dilemma, right? That's the movie.
Yeah, Social Dilemma.
Yeah, that's an insightful movie. Kind of.
Yeah.
Definitely worth a watch.
But I'm going to recite you something from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's Donut Shop. As you travel on through life, brother, whatever be your goal, please keep your eye upon the donut, not upon the hole.
There's a poem. I had something I was hoping to share with more than 11 people, but who knows? Maybe this will be in a recording someday.
That is recorded.
There was, do any of you know Charles Eisenstein? He's amazing. Find him on YouTube, find his website, Charles Eisenstein. Very articulate. Just, I don't know, I'm not nearly as articulate to be able to properly articulate how amazing he is, but Charles Eisenstein, he's given many people hope. And anyway, he, Patsy Eisenstein, he was telling a story in his last email. I've subscribed to everything of theirs, his newsletter and his YouTube channel. I love that he's doing short videos these days. Anyway, his last newsletter was about Patsy Eisenstein getting off of Facebook because of just the harmful, I don't know how she said it, but the impression was that there's more harm going on there.
Yeah, it's a volatile environment.
Yeah, so Charles decided to start a community online, a forum called a new.
Hold on a minute, Julie. Good night, Blair. I see you. You're surrounded by family. So good night to you and your family.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Anyways, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Thanks for stopping me, Cassie.
I just noticed there was like a crowd of people surrounding him.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, his family.
For his music enough.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, an ancient and a new story. If anybody's interested in it, it's one of the little PSAs, permaculture service announcements that I was going to give. Maybe even I'll do it later again and read from the newsletter, which was inspiring. Haven't heard of Charles Eisenstein. Might have even heard of a book he wrote and a phrase he coined called "the more beautiful." What is it? Creating the more beautiful world that our hearts know is possible. And he's amazing. So if there's a chance, I'll pull it up. If there's time, if anybody's interested, and I'll read from the newsletter at another open point in the schedule, or a little waiting point. Very inspiring man, Charles Eisenstein. It turns out Patsy Eisenstein, I was thinking some relation, his wife, turns out was his ex-wife, and he is still a part of the family. If David Elgren were here, he'd be very happy. He'd be thumbing up. She is still, the ex-wife is still a part of the family and leading the forum, and it's so nice to see people that need to go through transcending he married somebody else. I met him at Charles Eisenstein at the Global Earth Repair Conference last year, 2019, a world ago.
In May.
Yeah, in May of last year. Seems like it should have been a long time ago, as much as the world has changed. But he told me there that he was shocked at how somebody responded to him when he was speaking on stage for the fact that he had 4 children. He was being put down basically for using up more of the Earth's resources than he should, or something like that. Something hurtful, was shocking, because that was in response to. Do you remember, Cassie, did I tell you that one day, it might have been in one of the first days of GERC, Global Earth Repair Conference, everything I experienced that day was about people having to make choices to not have children, or all around, like now, given the state of the world, that was last year, the choice about whether to have children or not, and the sadness around, a mother's sadness around her daughter deciding not to, and understanding her point of view of wanting life to be supported and continued, especially with more awake people. Anyway, there was this whole thing I was sharing with him, and that's what he shared with me. So I knew he had 4 children, and he had 3 with Patsy Eisenstein. So I'm going, And it turns out that he married, his life fell apart at one point, including divorce. It's a really fascinating story you should find on his About page. And now she's a part of the family. He got married again, had a 4th child. And I love those kind of stories.
Yeah. I remember him talking, I also remember there was one of the speakers at Global Earth Repair or maybe it was a person asking questions. It might have been a person asking questions, but about children and about people and their ages and how many of them were going to have children and had children. And, you know, and it was very interesting because I remember like being part of those people in childbearing years and like how many people my age were like, nope, not having kids. And, you know, like we've had issues with kids and have lost 2 kids. And like now with the current situation in the world, it's really hard to think about having children. Kind of like, do you want to go through that? I don't know. Like, or do you want your children to go through this world, like in the current state that it's in? I don't know. And the other part for us is the health industry, like the medical industry. It's just such a like crazy space. Like you have medical doctors making decisions based off of money. You have the health insurance industry out there, like just trying to make more money. And it's like, well, who can you trust really? And like for us, for our situation, you and I have talked about this, Julie, you know, I'm going to have to be in the hospital should we ever get pregnant again. And I don't know if I really want to try to like trust. I don't want to put my life in, you know, their hands, let alone my kids. So I don't know. Interesting world. Hey, Ron, you're showing us your face. Hi.
You're muted.
Feel free to unmute and talk.
Yeah, well, he's muted.
It's always good. You can pretend like you're saying whatever you want.
It's true. You'd be like, oh, you can't hear me? What? Something's wrong with your speakers.
I like this using technology for convergence. I just intersected with it tonight, but I like it. Rain Tree Nursery sent me an email about this. That's how I really knew about it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm friends with 2 people that work there, Laura Sweeney and Joe, her partner in life. And Laura used to be on the permaculture board. And then she, like, because of life things and health things, decided to drop down. And she still was like super helpful this year. Like she did a couple interviews with like Inspiration Farm and Outback Farm and another one. I can't remember the name of it. But we'll be showing those videos this weekend.
I saw one of them today. Brian, you might have missed it. Brian was there. You've seen Brian speak live here. Laura, it was so good to see Laura's face, and she's so knowledgeable herself, and Brian's so knowledgeable. If you missed that one, yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, Rain Tree Nursery is going to be putting those videos out on their own social media eventually too. So.
That's right.
So do you live in the area, Ron, or?
No, San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, nice.
So I'm wondering, you know, we're kind of the tech capital here. How come the Bay Area doesn't have a permaculture convergence using media? Something about that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Good night, Carmen.
But, you know, I know everybody wants to write with chalk and all this different thing. I get it, but.
Well, there is a Northern California convergence. I don't know if they decide not to do theirs this year or.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, like the inland permaculture, like Northwest Inland Permaculture Convergence. I don't remember their like exact thing, but they're doing theirs this weekend, and they're meeting in person. Because I don't think they have. I don't know how many people they have coming. I don't know what their usual numbers are.
That's where Skeeter is.
So that you know, this can kind of seed more of them from now on. So that's good. I'll talk to you guys next year. We'll try to get something going in the Bay Area.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. My thought was, as a board member, like depending on how this one goes and how much energy we have after, like it might be kind of cool to do like little weekends of like like every 3 months or so, like let's get together and do a weekend kind of mini convergence where people can like do this kind of Zoom call, like, I mean, at least through this time where we're not able to have campouts, not able to like be in person doing work parties as often, or like, you know, I don't know.
Totally. I'm going to instigate the Pacific Permaculture Institute at my place.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right, we can do like
I already have a YouTube channel, Pacific Permaculture. Everything isn't quite, environment. Sometimes I'm just going off outside and,
Mm-hmm.
videos and stuff like that. But, working towards something. I just decided recently to make it into just an arm of the Pacific Permaculture Institute, the YouTube channel. So
Okay.
if when I ever make any money off it, I'm going to plow that into the Institute. And I have places where I could have workshops and all this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have a really big, nice media room, and that lends to this type of thing we got here too. And just make as many good connections as I can, try to push this thing forth a little bit farther, and
Yeah.
hire some more people to get involved with them. I'm trying to collaborate with some people in the Bay Area, one or two at least, that have YouTube channels, and just trying to right now just slowly build it up. I just started my first compost pit, and it's going to be at my house basically. So it's a big house, and do what I can, see what happens.
Yeah.
What's going to come out of it regardless. It just depends how much energy goes in, how good,
What's your space in your land like? Is it a lot of land in the city?
I'm on less than a half acre. Originally it was a half acre, and then my dad owned it and he split it because he was putting another house on the other half acre, whatever. Anyway, so I don't know, it's maybe 3/8 of an acre.
Okay.
And it's a 4-bedroom house. So I've got room to do a few things. I can grow a lot of food. There's like a big curved driveway, but what I'm doing is putting planters, half barrels on there to grow things. I don't want to remove the pavement because I don't want to be in the situation where in a year or two I decide, or 3 years I decide, oh, I need that pavement, and have to redo it. So I'm just going to have some planters going on top of that, and variety of things I want to do. I want to do some, slow and sink the rainwater, and just a lot of things. Just depends how much other energies I can get in there besides my own, because, one person can only do so much, right?
So it looks like Shauna says there has been a permaculture convergence in the San Francisco Bay Area. It was at Ama's Humanitarian Center in San Ramon.
This year?
I don't know. Was that this year, Shauna?
I know I went there in like 2011. I don't remember hearing about it on the East Bay Permaculture Group email, but maybe I missed it, or maybe somebody didn't post it. There's all these different, permaculturists divide up easier than they kind of convert sometimes.
That is true. They like to make
centralized. They take it way too far. You have to have some centralization.
Everyone wants to make their own group, do their own thing.
Yeah, and then I read about this with these eco villages years ago. A couple of them kind of imploded because they got into this thing. Well, hey, you got a toothbrush, it's not totally sustainable, and you're using toothpaste that isn't. The left divides up too much sometimes. Yeah. They got all splintered, and then they couldn't even hold it together, and they were still doing way better than everybody else. So, sometimes you got to step back and go, wait a minute, everybody doesn't have to have their own whatever. Let's just all get together as a group.
Yeah. Have you looked at there's like the Intentional Community website, where they talk about
them, yeah.
Well, when my husband and I moved here.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Cassie.
I was just gonna say when my husband and I moved here, like I was looking at that because that was one of our thoughts was to live in an intentional community before we bought the land that we're on. And every little community had all their like little rules, and there were so many of them, and it was just like, okay, but you're like you're not too far from this one, and your rules are very like by very little. Like, why do we have to have so many little like? I mean, I think little communities are good, but it just seemed really kind of funny that they were
I
like,
think that's where I read about the intentional eco community that imploded in
mm,
Communities magazine.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, I used to get it, or I'd pick it up at the market or something for a while. And I don't get it currently, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
a good thing, good
but
resource.
yeah,
It's I don't know. Everybody wants to be the king, right? And some people have to just be the workers. Sorry, everybody can't. Somebody has to lead, but everybody can't lead. It just doesn't
I
work.
feel I really like being a helper. I like supporting people who are leading. And if I really have to, I will lead. But I like support.
And you're very, very good at it, Cassie.
But yeah, you're right. A lot of people like want to lead and they want to be the person in charge and they want to make the decisions and
I think when they had it at the Moss Center, it was in 2011 that I went there. So
mm,
I would say that was over a few years ago. But I might be wrong. Maybe it was 2013. But it wasn't. It was over 5 years ago.
I went
Unless
to
it happened since then and I missed it. But when I went,
mm,
it was like at least 5, 6 years ago.
so is there no like we do ours every year, like we switch it up between Portland and Washington. Of course, this year's a little bit different. Um, but is there no like kind of rules for that? Like they don't say we're going to do it every year at this time of the year, or like a
Who would
board or
be to make
committee?
the rules? What
Patterns.
group would make the rules?
Do
Well,
they have?
we have a board who
The
like
East Bay
decides.
Permaculture Guild is just an informal gathering.
Okay.
At one time, I remember way back when, in about 2002 or 3, they're getting all intense and they're having all these different meetings and meetings and meetings. And I think that probably imploded because people said, yeah, you can only do so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were going to have like like some people are going to be the managers, right? So the executive meeting, then the regular meeting, and one for over here and one for over there, and all this
Yeah.
craziness. Well, you know what? At some point, you want to do more than just go to meetings all the time. So they're
Yeah,
young,
that's true.
enthusiastic right out of college or whatever, you know, young 20s, or we're all into it. And then I think they got older and tired, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of fell apart. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Next thing, when I tried to intersect with it, it was just like the next thing, probably 7 or 8 years ago, they it was like, we'll have a work party somewhere. Okay, so we're doing something and talk, you know, and then now it's just like an informal meeting. Somebody comes and talks about stuff. But then now
Okay.
with Corona, I don't know. I asked about it because somebody mentioned it on email, and I said, well, if we have the bandwidth, and I don't know what the heck that means. I guess it meant I wasn't included.
And well,
I
some
could
people,
figure out. It's like they didn't want to say, we don't want to invite you.
I doubt it was that. I'm pretty sure it's we don't have the energy. I that's
Oh, maybe bandwidth was substitute for like if we feel like it in our own.
if
But
we
I mean,
can.
like a Zoom call, it's not that hard to have a meeting. It's
Um, you
two
know,
and a
like
half
this
hours.
this convergence, this particular like Zoom thing isn't that hard technically, but I do feel the strain from it. Like I was feeling super stressed and anxious and just trying to like do the preparation for it. And
Right, but
I
I'm
mean,
talking about even having the monthly meeting. They said if
oh
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
bandwidth, and I'm like,
Oh, that's crazy.
at
I
the,
can do a monthly
I'm thinking, oh,
meeting.
that means they don't want to invite me to the meeting. Uh,
Or
it's only it's a bandwidth. Are you kidding me? I've been on meetings. There's 30 people every month.
Maybe you just gotta start the meeting. You just gotta say, hey guys.
To maybe 10 people show up on time for the permaculture thing, maybe another few later. There wasn't that many people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They just don't want to do it. I guess it's okay. I'll move on and do what I could do. But it's just
Yeah, you just gotta start your own thing, I guess.
Place, you know. And
yeah.
So in a real sense, there's no East Bay Permaculture Guild.
Got it.
You know, there might be a San Francisco one or whatever. I'm not driving clear over there. So.
San Ramon, am I saying that right? Where's that?
San Ramon.
Raymond? R-A-M-O-N.
Yeah, I don't know. I went down to San Francisco once. I spent a week there. My husband had to work, and I was like, well, I've never been to California, so let's do it. So I spent a week sightseeing by myself. It was the best vacation ever. Like, if you've never sightseen by yourself, I highly recommend it because you don't have to wait for anyone. You do whatever you want. If you just want to sit on a bench in the middle of a park, you don't have someone like being like, I'm bored.
Totally. Yeah, like I went to today.
Although I went to Australia and
myself,
I really
when I want to go, I go.
I didn't like going to Australia by myself, renting a car by myself, and I wanted somebody to share it with. I do understand your point of view though, Cassie.
I mean, yeah, it's nice to share things with people, but this was like the first time I'd ever done this by myself. Like I'd been on family vacations. I'd never like really, I always had someone with me on other places. So this was like,
it just takes getting used to, but going by yourself was the best.
Yeah, it's a totally different experience. And then you can
go
like
when and where you want, eat what you want.
Yeah. Like I went to this ice cream shop and then I could have donuts. And then I did anything I wanted. I was like, I don't have anyone to answer to except for myself. So if I want to eat all the sweets, then that's what I'll do. I'll have pizza and then ice cream and then this. It's great. And then there's a place there.
I was being vegan before I went to Hawaii the last time, and then I fell off the wagon. I had a Wagyu beef burger.
Oh,
it was
yeah, that
great.
would be hard.
I wish I'd ordered 2 or 3. But
yeah.
It just,
Hawaii would be a fun place to visit by myself too.
I lived there for a couple of years.
Yeah, there's some cool permaculture people there in Hawaii.
I don't know. There kind of is everywhere. Kind of. There is. I
worked at
things going on for sure.
Yeah.
It's not like in mass. 80% of the people are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
People are here and there doing neat things.
Yeah, I worked at Burnt Ridge Nursery for a while, and we had a couple customers from Hawaii who would call in and do orders, and they'd be like, can you tell me what plants I need to plant? And I'm like, no, I don't know. Like, you're Hawaii. Like, you guys can plant tons of stuff. And you have a totally different,
I'm so envious of, like, David in Florida and people in warm places like that. Like, they've got papayas and they've got huge avocados and just all this mangoes and lychee, and they've just got so many amazing foods.
Yeah.
Have you seen the picture David shows of his, I think it's his son, his child holding an avocado that's bigger than his child's head?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I'm so envious of warm weather foods.
There's a guy in near Kona area that I think his name is Mike Love, and he grows all this tropical stuff. It's wild, and he brings it to the market and all this, and amazing variety of tropical stuff he's got going on.
Yeah.
And they have the Hawaii tropical fruit growers and that kind of thing.
Good night, Shaylee.
I'm just saying good night. I've been loving listening to the conversation while I've been just just getting ready for stuff for tomorrow. But thank you all. I'm out of here. I'll see you in the morning.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Julie, for getting these last chats into the Slack channel. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking we could do something here with videos and stuff next year, do more of a convergence. And I don't know about this mall center thing, but when I went, I think it was like before 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, be that as it was nice and all that, but just I think we need to keep it rolling. Even something small is better than nothing.
Yeah, to keep people like talking is good.
And I want to have some workshops and stuff at my place. And for one thing, it makes it easier to have helpers. And, you learn by doing better than just talking about it sometimes and all that.
That's true.
And, bring their story and learn a story type of thing, Share,
fake
somebody else learns from them.
Comedian, did you ever see that act? I forget his name. It's a sort of a comic pretend guru. I think it's YouTube, and he talks about television. Television is you tell your vision onto my vision.
I know this person.
Somebody else online says, tell lies to your vision. It's television. And they say programming because you're getting programmed.
Right.
Could be something to do with that. I don't know. I can't investigate everything and figure everything out. There's panicked about everything. I said, you know what? Plant food, share food.
Is Norm and Shauna still here, or did you just step away? I'm just curious.
Some people end up stepping away. Like last night, I ended up kicking people out.
Okay.
At the end.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
I could ask you a technical question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What were you gonna say? Maybe it's more interesting.
I'm gonna want to go to bed soon.
Yeah, me too.
So I can be awake tomorrow for the morning. I really want to see the farming guy in the morning.
Yeah, me too.
And I did not wake up in time for any of the morning stuff today. I was like just so sleepy. So, but what were you gonna say, or what were you asking?
Well, I'm trying to make more room on my C drive. It's like Grace. It's keeping my laptop from crashing. Anyway, I almost haven't had my browser on almost the whole day, because every time I turned it on, everything would gray out and just barely could move my mouse. So the only thing on my C drive that I can remove now are programs, which is what it recommends. Like from the uninstall. And I don't know what to uninstall. I see some things. They're like the oldest things are like 2015, but I don't know if you know anything about this. Cisco.
I don't.
Fast module. You're probably like me, pretty technical, but don't know absolutely everything about a computer.
Yeah, and let Paul handle.
That locks up a lot of space. I can tell you that much.
What's that?
If you put videos on there, that takes up a lot of space.
Yeah, no, I'm putting videos and pictures and music, which I have a lot of, on other drives. That's why I don't understand why I'm running out of space.
Maybe it's copying it. Maybe you have a setting somewhere where it's copying it to the hard drive.
Yeah, where it's keeping a copy.
So backup.
Sometimes, yeah.
Anyway, when Russ comes home, we did do something with some kind of DOS program that tells me what the sizes of things are, but he's not here now. I actually had to go get an imaging of his broken wrist.
I saw him wearing.
I know. We were singing "It's a Holly."
Yeah, I was like, wait, what happened to Russ?
Oh, way back. Anyways, 8 o'clock at night. Can you imagine? I mean, he has to drive like an hour to get there.
Wow.
Anyway, I think I just heard it take off. Anyway,
Okay.
all your data, apps and data, note, this might take some space on your system. Okay, I'll say no. It's a whole program that doesn't work anymore. Android simulator called BlueStack. Oh,
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting,
okay.
and I could stop recording.
Oh dear.